What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Canes Insight Daily Podcast Special Edition. I wanted to do a show this afternoon. I was like, let me see if any major news topic hits. Let's see if a coach gets hired or if a recruit flips or something of that nature. And of course, something major did happen that would force me to go live here at 3:30. Malachi Tony, Canes superstar, has changed his number to number 1. It's funny, man. Like something silly like this. I got like 17 texts about this number change. So I'm like, you know what? I think maybe it is time to go live. That's how big Malachi Tony has gotten as a superstar. This is an excuse to go live. But ultimately, the news is Mally changing his number to number 1. I don't think this is very surprising. A lot of people expected this move. Darian Mensah, of course, the quarterback, wore number 10. He will wear number 10, presumably for the Canes this season. Also, you think about Malachi Tony in high school. This is a guy who wore number 10 early in his high school career, ultimately switched to number 1. So if you're like me and you spent tons of money on Malachi Tony number 10 jerseys, I think I bought maybe 3 of them for Christmas. You got a nice little expense because now you got to buy the Malachi Tony number 1 again for your kids. You got to buy the Darian Mensah number 10, and the 10 you got for Malachi, you probably can't wear it anymore because no one wants to get confused of the jerseys where it's just looking like Mally, but it's the Mensah jersey or Mensah number. So ultimately, we're looking at major jersey sales. I'm sure Miami HCS will have these soon. I'll make sure I'll do the plug when that comes out, the Miami Hurricane team store. But a lot of money, man. And in NIL era, if you're Malachi Tony, you're superstar of that level, you get money off these jerseys. So I don't think that's why he's doing it. I'm sure he just always wanted to wear number 1. Trader was wearing it before he got there. The whole Mensa thing, it just kind of played out this way. But a side benefit for Mally, who very smart guy, very smart team around him, as you can see, just from the way he carries himself and the decisions he makes. You get some NIL money off this because now the players get paid for their jerseys. So I think it's a savvy move. Makes a lot of sense. I don't think he's doing it for the money, but nice little bonus there. Al says, yeah, but you still have the freshman year number. You know what? That's true. When Mally's in the Hall of Fame and there's throwbacks, you'll see throwback 1s, but how many people are going to have the throwback 10s? That's going to be the real deal. I've seen people wearing the Jordan 4.5. That one's still pretty popular, even though he only wore for a limited amount of time. I think it's cool to have the 4.5 if you already have the 23 and all the different colors. So maybe the 10 will be a collector's item for everybody. As we presume, again, Darian Mensah is going to be wearing the 10. There'll be a lot of 10 jerseys for Mensah around. Overall, I want to see more of these jerseys getting sold. I mean, for one reason, the players get paid for it, so I'd like to see money in their pocket. But they're not all available, right? You don't have you can't just go to the store and buy a Ruben Bain or a Carson Beck. That's something I'd love to see kick up here in the new year. I know my guys at the Hurricane team store are doing everything they can to make that happen as well. A lot of that's out of their hands, but they're trying. And once it's out, the first place you will see it is at the Miami Hurricane team store. Michael Rodriguez, I like this. 2 All-American numbers in the rafters. Yeah, we got the 10 up this year. So this year we're throwing up the 10. We're throwing up the 4 for Ruben Bain, and we're throwing up the 61 for James Brockermeyer, or sorry, for Perez Malinois. James Brockermeyer was actually All-America on one of these lists. I wonder if he's going to get his. But Malinois, Bain, and Mally for sure go up. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe get the 1 up there next year. And the 10 for Mensah. How about that? Rocco's catching my James Brockermeyer slip. It's really not a slip. He was an All-America, I think, on CBS or one of these. So, I was curious. I caught myself thinking, is he going to go up too? But he's certainly someone who played really well for the Canes and is now at the Senior Bowl and played well at the Senior Bowl. So don't sleep on old James Brock, man. But yeah, look, in terms of Mally, I made this statement in the tweet when I reposted this, which is he is the best football player in America next year. And I said it just to say it, but now that I said it, he really is the best football player in America this year. And I think we can do all the branding, the numbers, and everything else. But I think ultimately, if we're trying to brand this guy, and me being kind of in the media, I don't consider myself much of a journalist, but I guess technically I'm in the media, people in the branding business. That's how I want to brand Malachi because it's true going in, is he's the best football player in the country. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, you say Jeremiah Smith's the best receiver in the country? I won't fight back. I think the guy's going to Canton. He's another Andre Johnson. But in terms of throwing, catching, returning, he blocks better than Jeremiah Smith, even though he's way smaller. Running with the ball. I'm sure if we put him on defense, he'd be getting picks. He is the best football player in the country, and I can't even think who would contest him on that, right? I mean, who's even in that conversation with Malachi as the best pure football player in the country? So that's how I'm calling. That's what I'm calling him from here on out. Obviously, some people still call him Baby Jesus. Mal, he's going to have a million nicknames. But for me, I'll keep it simple. He is the best football player in America, period, point blank. And I think he shows that every day. I'd love to see this next year. Return touchdown. He barely missed them this year. I mean, he could have scored a few. It just got tripped up or someone missed a block. I mean, we know he's capable of doing that. Receiving, that's going to happen naturally. Running, I'm sure that's going to happen pretty naturally. Passing, you'll see him continue to pass the ball because he's so good at it. So that'd be the coolest thing, to have all four: the return, the throw, the run, and the receiving in one season. I think he's going to do it. He might do it within the first few games. It's just a matter of what we want to employ. My guy No Smoke saying that number 10 Mally will be a throwback in the future. That's what I'm saying, man. Collector's item. I don't know my kids are going to fit in it very long because it's going to be a youth size, but maybe their kids will be rocking that one after the Hall of Fame. Rocco saying, hopefully he can break the sophomore slump. Curse seems to have happened to a few of the guys. Yeah, I think injury is going to play a big part in that. I mean, just staying healthy is really the name of the game. That's what hurt Ruben Bain. The scheme hurt him too. I think getting hurt is really what caused that. So, the sophomore slump with Ruben. Mally's such a hard worker, which Ruben was as well. He just got bad luck. But, Mally's such a hard worker. I don't think like the sophomore slump that comes from like reading your own headlines is going to happen to him. I put him in that Jeremiah Smith category. When you look at Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, another one that was a freshman sensation for, in his case, Georgia before going to Ohio State. But those two guys, they didn't really have sophomore slumps, right? They kept on working, kept on improving, and Caleb Downs was awesome as a sophomore, ended up helping Ohio State win the championship. Jeremiah Smith this year was awesome as a sophomore as well. So I don't think anything is going to derail Malachi Tony from being great next year other than injury, because he's going to take care of himself. He's going to do the right things on and off the field. He's going to keep getting better. His skill level is as good as it gets, his instincts, all that. We know how good of a player he is. And then offensively, I think you're going to see him in a very focused role. He's going to be the focal point of the offense. Obviously, he's the best player, right? We said best football player in the country. He's going to get a lot of touches. But I think with him, you want to upgrade the explosive numbers. He was as explosive as he is, and he might be the best, most explosive player in the country. His numbers are actually not that explosive. He led the nation in receptions, but it wasn't like he was getting 16 yards a catch, which Restrepo did, or 10 yards a rush, because everybody was keen on him. So this year, where you have more variety in terms of the options on offense, I think you will see Tony's explosive numbers, his yards per carry, his yards per catch, all of those things escalate. Not because he got better. I mean, he was already great. He'll get better because he's a hard worker, but because everybody around him will make it easier for his touches to be more impactful. And you don't want to just kind of spam, to use my kids' terminology, his usage, and just kind of feed him. You're going to use him because he is the best player, but you're going to use him in opportunities to make explosive big plays after feeding a Barcate, a Cam Vaughn, a Josh Moore, a Vondrevious Jacobs deep. I mean, these guys all have something they can do. Dalen Upshaw, you got running backs that can do work. So I think the goal with both really Fletcher and Malachi is, number one, keep them healthy for the playoffs. And it doesn't mean load management per se, but being smart with those guys so they can peak in the playoffs, because we've seen what those guys can do in a playoff setting. They're as good as it gets in the country. And also making sure that their explosive numbers rise. Fletcher in the playoffs, I think, was like a 6+ yards per carry, closer to 5.0, 4.9 in the regular season. We want that 6+ number for Mark Fletcher. Obviously, he's capable of it. He already did it. So it's a matter of usage and building an offense that allows these guys to truly be explosive. Flankard is saying, would be surprised if we don't see more throwing plays for him, having a full season to scheme that up. No, I agree. I agree. I think you'll see him throw the ball more. You have it, you got to use it. People call it a gimmick or whatever it is. It's a problem for the defense because if you don't attack him aggressively, he's just going to run and make you pay for it with his legs. But if you do attack him aggressively, like you saw against Pitt, he has the decision-making and instincts plus the arm ability to just loft it over or around whoever's coming into him to a loft. And so it's just a numbers game when he's running with the football because you have to account for him as a runner, but he's enough of a passer that even if he's outside in space and someone's coming towards him, he has just the natural quarterback instincts to still complete the pass when it's not like perfect. Some of these receivers, you get them into these more chaotic situations and they freak out because they're not comfortable. So even though they're great athletes and they can throw in a practice setting, something goes wrong, a guy comes free or someone's coming up to make the play on them, they get nervous. Whereas Malachi, because he's a natural quarterback, he can throw around those guys. He can throw over those guys. He can layer the ball. He can drive it. He can make good decisions. If he knows, hey, I can't get this throw off or it's not there, he'll make the right decision running or passing. So to me, I think I'd like to see more plays with him having those decisions, run or pass, because he's a great decision maker. Really, he's every bit as good of a decision maker as Mensah. He's not the quarterback. He's not going to pass like that consistently, but I trust him like I trust a very smart quarterback. So get the ball in his hands, put the defense in conflict where they just don't have the numbers to defend what he's doing when he becomes a passer who has the ability to run if you're not ready for the running part. So I do think you will see some more of that. And I will be watching that, and I'll be drinking a nice, cool can of Papa's Alternative Brew. Shout out to Nick West over there in Medford, Oregon. Papa's Alternative Brew. papasaltbrew.com. Use promo code CANES. There's your calm after the chaos. The buzz without the booze. It's a non-alcoholic beer, but it's not without a buzz. It's got 7.5 to 10 milligrams of THC, but it's only 60 calories, no hangover, all the bad stuff of pounding beers out the window, but you still get the same buzz, still get the same hops flavor. This is brewed in Oregon where the best of the best THC type of IPAs are made, but it's distributed all over the country, including Florida. So go to papasaltbrew.com, promo code CANES, Canes, to get yourself a can of Papa's Alternative Brew. Support Canes fans, support my guy Nick West, who's doing it big, huge supporter of Canes Insight, the Canes in general, Canes Connection. He's the man. Support who supports us with Nick West and Papa's Alt Brew. Speaking of supporting who's supporting us, Duffy's, man, 60 plus years serving the Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, the South Florida community, and certainly the home of the Hurricanes. There you see it right there. Nothing fancy, man. This is 60 plus years in business. The walls are just so much history. There you see the 2001 championship, newspaper clipping there. But they got 1970s Canes stuff there. I mean, they have everything you can imagine from the Canes on these walls, now accepting credit card, new ownership, same feel. So it's got that just classic, I don't want to say dive bars, it's a family atmosphere. You see families here all the time because it's just part of the tradition for folks who live around this area. But it's got that classic kind of bar feel without sacrificing on some of the modern amenities in terms of the menu, in terms of the service. All these things is top of the line, especially with the new ownership group. Shout out to Eddie, the junior, Jose, and the boys. They are all kicking some butt with Duffy's Tavern. I can't tell you how many Canes events have been held here, whether it's Hall of Fame or Touchdown Club or high school reunion for, just whatever. Duffy's Tavern is the spot right there in the heart of Miami, edge of Coral Gables on 57th Avenue. This is not Duffy's Sports Grill. This is Duffy's Tavern on 57th Avenue. If you know, you know. Nick West, always, baby. A good question here from Juan Manuel. The question is not, is he going to be the best and most skilled squat? The question is, can he get a step faster to finish big plays into TDs? And can there be a Tony package at QB? Yeah, I think this number 2 for sure. As far as getting a step faster, I mean, he's pretty fast right now. I think he needs more space. He needs more guys occupied because you're worried about other players beating you. I think we lacked an explosive element in our offense last year when he was not the guy getting the ball. And you saw this whenever you heard a coach's game plan, when they talked to anonymous coaches during that playoff run about how do you beat Miami. It's like, well, you got to stop Tony. You got to make sure he doesn't kill you. And that's kind of number 1 on the agenda. So that will allow him to make some bigger plays. I think stay lean. Amon Richards, we had him on today. We've had him on every single Tuesday, and he talks about it. You can't get too strong. I know Tony likes to block. He likes to break tackles, likes to be physical, and he's a weight room beast. But channel that energy into staying lean and powerful as opposed to putting on too much just pure weight. I think that'll be big for him. But as far as the speed, like Chris Fowler says, he doesn't lose foot races. So he's not going to be a track star. He's always going to be a fast football player, and that's what he is. And there'll be a lot of number one jerseys in the stands while that number one jersey is getting into the end zone next year. So again, appreciate everybody joining us here for just a quick little episode on the jersey switch. I might do something else for breaking news. I want to start coming live on these breaking news items just because a lot of folks are on all day. They want to talk about this. Why have a group chat when we got CanesInsight.com and the Canes Insight podcast. Appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe. Go Canes.